Jai Hind everyone. Myself is Anuj Kumar and I'm Assistant Professor in CSE Department in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today we have to discuss some basic points about the big data. What is big data? What are the types of the big data and how we can use the big data? So these are the basics. We have to start the introductions. Type of the data means when we have to use a various lot of devices, so types of the digital data, history of big data, introduction of the big data platform, what platform we are using, and drivers for the big data or big data architecture, characteristics of the 5G V's of the big data, and what are the big data technologies component that we have to use. So we have to discussed these points, and we have to try to explain why it is necessary to use the big data. So basically, we can define big data means a large volume of data we have to store. So means a big data is a collection of data that is in use in terms of volumes, means which has a large volume of the data. So we have to define it is huge that will grow exponentially with the time. It is a data with so large file and complexity that none of the traditional data management tools can store it or process it efficiently. Big data is also a data but with a huge size. So in short, we have to define big data means we have a data that is in large volume of data, and when we have to stored and processed, so we have to measure focus on the 2 points. First, how we have to stored if data is large volume, means terabyte, gigabytes, petabytes, how we can be stored. Then second one, if we have to store these large amount of data, how we can be accessed. It will take the less time when we have to access or use this data. Okay, so big data, it will grow exponentially in time to time. Second, we have to define the example in social media. In social media, suppose we have to we have to write a post on some, and another person we have to like this post, and another one they have to write some comments on this. So we have to different type of data we have to discussed in later, but the big data is example is a social media. Next, the statistics shows that we have 500 plus terabytes of the new data that can be injected into the database of the social media sites like Facebook day to day. We have to produce large amount of the data every day by using the Facebook, and we have to upload, as I have to discussed here, we have to upload some videos, we have to upload some images, we have to exchange the message, and someone putting the comment on that, and someone we have to like that post or video or photos. So we have to use and this data, and we have to produce large amount of data day to day. If we have to shown in a diagram, so if we have using the talking about the email, so every day we have to in a survey, we have to find out we are using the 3.4 lakhs, 34 lakhs around using the mail send in a every day. If we have to talking about on the WhatsApp, so we have to use 740471 like every day message we have to send the messages. Google search, we have to find out the searching any approximately it will use 68542, and same that we have to use the Facebook post, we have to use around 54977. Tweets we have to use the 570. Snapchat we have to use 4630. SMS messages we are using the 4595, and Instagram post we are using the 694. It will be introduced day by day. So every day we have to shown it through a diagram. So everyone, the highest value is the emails. Everyone use the emails. So it will be shown through a diagram. Every seconds, number of the seconds we have to increase, the largest volume is that is the email send. Then we have to use the WhatsApp message. Then we have to use the search. Then we have using the Facebook post. So means we have to produce large amount of data day to day. In a daily examples, again we have to show through a figure, we have to in a research, we have to be find out in year 2016 we are using the 1.23 billions. In 2017 it will be increased and it will be used in the 1.4 billions. In 2018 it will be using the 1.52 billions, and 19 it will be grow up to up, and in 24 I am taking the here data is around the 24, it will be around to the 2.1 billions Facebook daily active users that are using and produce the huge amount of data, large amount of the data. So this is a daily active users of the Facebook of every years, they have to be produce the data. Same if we have to be considered it and we have to be decided it around the years. So if we go through the previous means, we have to go through in the period of the 1970 to the 2000. At that time, they are not be using produce large amount of data. They are not be using the so much services that we are using here. So for this, they are using the RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, and they have to be use the data warehousing. And when they have to be stored the information, they are using to extract information, that is they are using the extract transfer load. After that, they are using some analytical processing to analyze the data. So they are using the analysis data, and they have to be use the dashboard, or they have to be scored the cards for this data. And then they are using the data mining as the statistical analysis. Means in the period of the 1970 to 2000, so we are using only a similar type of the data, that is also known as we have to be defined. In phase 1, we are using the structured data, means all of the data are in a proper format. As we have to be discussed here, we are using the Facebook, someone add the image, photo, someone add the videos, someone like that, someone is the comment on that video or some photos. So there are the different type of data. But in the previous phase, in the phase 1, in this phase 70 to 2000, they are using the similar type of the data, that is means they are using the structured data, and it is very limited. But when we have to be moved to the second phase, that is phase 2, if we are talking about in the between the 2000 to 2010, so it data value will be increased, and here it will be how it will be increased. They are using a web based, browser based, and when they are using the web based, means our data, as we have to be discussed here, Facebook, someone add videos, someone add the photos, and someone like the comment, means we have the different type of the data, means that is a unstructured content or unstructured data. So for this, it will be used the information retrieval and extraction. We have to be discussed later in one by one, explain the different type of the data. Second one, they are using some opinion mining technique, but in the previous they are using the extract transfer load, but here they are using the opinion mining. Next, they are, instead of online analytical transaction, they are using the question answering. They are using web based, so it will be they are using the web analyticals and the web intelligence. Then they are using the social media analytics, they are using the social networking analysis, and the spiral temporal services. But if we are talking about the, that is phase 3rd after the 2002 till date, means we have to be divide this category into the 3 parts in a simple, that is phase 1 previous before the 2000, then phase 2 2000 to 2010, and phase 3 is 2010 to the till date present. So every day they are using the mobile phones, and we are using the sensor based the technology, means data every seconds we have to be produce the large amount of data every seconds. We are using the different type of the devices, smartphone, mobiles, and the sensor based content. So in this we have focus here, that is a we using the location aware analysis, person centered analysis, then we are using the content relevant analysis, mobile visualization, human computer interface. So in this table we have to be defined here. We have to different type of the phases, and in the different type of the phases, in the earlier phases we are using only similar type of the data. So we are using, that is named as the structured data, and for that we are using the RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Second one, we are using the browsers, web based. So in the phase 2 we have to be considered, that is a web based, and that data when we are using the web based, so it will be not be a similar type of the data, it will be the different type of the data. So we have to be defined here, that is a web based unstructured data. And in the phase 3 Again, it will be grow. We are using the mobile phone, smartphone. We are using some sensor-based content. That is we are using the IoT through which we have to be send the data or receive the data. So it will be again produce a large amount of the data. So the total amount of data in the world that we use in the zettabytes form in year 2013, but this set it will be rapidly increase and it will be go through the 4.4 instead of 4.4 in 2020. It will be move around the 44 zettabytes of the data day to day. So means every day we have to be increase the data. This is a simple table. If we have topic about the kilobytes, means that is equal to the 100 bytes. It is really use a paragraph of the test documents. If we are talking about the megabytes, it will be the 1000 kilobytes. That is a small novel. Gigabytes means 1000 megabytes. Terabytes, petabyte, exabyte, zettabytes, and the yogabytes. Means when we are using the yogabytes, means 1000 zettabytes means as such informations are there are atoms in 7000 human bodies. So we have to be define the different data when we stored. Our data is the kilobytes, our data is the megabytes, our data is the gigabytes. Now we have to be define the type of the data. As in the previous table, we have to be define the three phase. So we have here defined our digital data. Means now we are using the sensor based technology, we are using the IoTs, we are using the mobile phones, we are using the smartphones. So is data means that we have to be produced digitally. So that is the digital data. Or there is the three types of the data. First one, it will be known as the structured data. Second one, it will be known as the semi-structured data. And third one, it will be known as the unstructured data. So in this era, we have to be down the structured data means a proper format of the data. So it will be very less. So we can be define it here. It will be only the 10%. And what is the digital data? In this data, structured data, this is a relational data, means similar type of the data that can be processed it easily because it will be the only 10%. So it has the limited amount of the data. So we can be process this amount easily. We have to be process this data easily and can be stored in a fixed format. Suppose we are taking the example, we have to be include the financial data, we have to be use the machine logs, and we have using some demographical details. So all these type of the data is known as the structured data, and it is in very limited form, that is a form of the 10%. Again, second one, it will be use the semi-structured data. Semi-structured means it is a combination of the structured and the unstructured. So it is a, we can be say that is a hybrid structured and unstructured data. It is a hybrid data that will be form of the structured data and the unstructured data. Some data will be in proper format, some data is not be in proper format. So that is known as the semi-structured data. We have to be discussed one by one here. So example of these, we are using the XML and we are using the JSON, that is the JavaScript object notations that we are using here. So these are both type of the data, that is the XML markup language and the JSON JavaScript object notations is known as the semi-structured data. Third one that we are using here is the unstructured data, because nowadays we are using the mobile phones, we are using the different type of the technology through which we have to be produce the data. So this is the unstructured data. It is will be not be in proper format, and it will be the ratio in the 80%. So this is the main we have to be discussed here, that is the unstructured data. So first one, when it will be in the higher percentage, so it is had the different formats, such as we have to be have some document file, we have the multimedia files, we have some image, we have some backup files, we have some logs file, we have some social media post, we have some audio files and open-ended customer error. So these are type of the unstructured data where all the data are not be stored in a single format, and that will be produced day to day large amount of the data, that is the 80% data. So it will be how question says when we are using the unstructured data, now today era we are using mobile phones, smartphone, where there can be produced a large amount of data, and that is the unstructured data. The main is how we have to be stored this data and how we have to be access this data. What techniques or what methodology we have to be used to store this data, and we have to be used to access this data. So when we are talking about the digital data, so there are the three types of the data. One is the structured data, that will be in a limited form, that is only 10%. Second one is the semi-structured data, means combination of the structured data and the unstructured data, that will be in a hybrid form, means combination of the structured and the unstructured data. And example of this semi-structured data is the XML and the JSON. And third one is the unstructured data, means where we have the different type of the file formats. So in a diagram, we have to be define the structured data versus the unstructured data. If we are talking about the structured data, means all the data are here in this table can be stored in a proper format. That can be displayed in number of rows and number of columns and the relational database. Second one, we have to be numbers. We are using some numbers, we are using some dates, we are using the some string, means different. In the first file, we have used all the numbers. In the second file, we are using all the date types, and in the third one, we are using the string type. So this is again also a type of the structured data, but it will be estimated 20% of the enterprise data. That is the limited, and it will be the 20% of the data. Next, it will be require the less storage. Again, it will be have the limited 10% data, so it will be use the less storage. And next one, easier to manage and protect with the legacy solutions, means when we have to be a limited amount of data, so we can be easily stored it, we can be easily manage it, and we have to be protect with the legacy solutions. So now if we talk about that is the unstructured data. So in unstructured data, there are not be a fixed file format. There are not be a fixed file format as we are using the structured data. So here we cannot be displayed it in number of rows and number of columns, and we cannot be use the relational database. Second one, here we are using the numbers, date and the string, and they are using a separate file. But here we are using some images, we are using some audios, we have some videos, we have some word processing file, we have some emails, spread data, and we have some spreadsheets. So we have the different type of the data. Same here, it will be had limited, that will be used estimated of the maximum 20%. Why it will be 20%? In previous we have to be discussed, it will be the 10%. Here we are taking the combination of the structured and the semi-structured, so that will be around in the 20%. So remaining 80% is the unstructured data. So that is the estimated 80% of the enterprise data. Same here, it will be the high volume of data in comparison to the structured, so it will be stored the more memory space when we have to be stored this data. And next, it will be the large amount of data that will be stored when we have to be access the data, and we have to be manage this data, and we have to be protect this data. It is not be easy. So it will be more difficult as compared to the structured data to manage and protect with the legacy of the solutions. So this is a basic difference between the structured and the unstructured data. Again, we have to be defined, as we have to discuss the type of the big data or digital data, that is the structured data. Second one is the semi-structured data, and third one is the unstructured data. So in the structured data, we have to be a predefined data models like the database. And second one, they are using the used test only. Third one, they are using easy to search and filter, and the examples of the structured data is the date, phone numbers, transactions, informations. In the semi-structured, both structured and the unstructured data means considerably easier to analyze and structured data, और इसके हमने examples discuss किया था, that is email, CSV file, JSON file. Unstructured data means there is no predefined data models that we have used. So if that has no be predefined data models, so it is very difficult to search through, and it will be usually stored in a different type of the format. So here we are taking the example of the social media data, audio file, and the images file. So we have to be discussed next in details. In the next lecture, we have to be define the types of the big data in